Welcome back to the channel and get ready, because today we are diving into one of the most surprising, entertaining, and completely unexpected moments ever to hit the Britain's Got Talent stage. You've seen emotional singers, unbelievable dancers, jaw-dropping magicians, and performers who can twist their bodies into shapes no human should even attempt. But every once in a while, a performer walks out, and the judges assume they already know exactly what's about to happen. They think it's going to be silly, or strange, or maybe even a complete joke. And then, in the blink of an eye, everything changes. Their expressions shift, the audience sits straighter, the theater becomes silent, and suddenly, something that looked like a joke becomes one of the most unforgettable performances of the season. That's exactly what happened on the night we are talking about today. A contestant who walked onto the BGT stage carrying something that made Simon Cowell stare with one eyebrow raised, the way he always does when he thinks someone is wasting his time. A contestant who looked like he was trying to be funny, maybe even weird. But the moment he started performing, everything changed. Simon leaned forward. Amanda gasped. Alicia's smile froze. The audience exploded. And within seconds, the entire theater realized they were witnessing something truly special. But let's start from the beginning, because this moment didn't just shock the judges. It reminded everyone watching that you should never judge a performer before the performance actually begins. It reminded every dreamer out there that sometimes, all you need is one chance to show the world what you've been hiding inside you for years. And it reminded Simon Cowell personally that even after decades of judging talent, he can still get surprised so completely that all he can do is stare in disbelief. So picture this. The BGT stage is glowing. The crowd is buzzing. The music is fading out. Ant and Dec are backstage, holding their microphones and whispering commentary, wondering what's about to happen. And then, from behind the curtain, walks a contestant the audience had absolutely no expectations for. He wasn't a pop star. He wasn't dressed like a magician or a dancer. He wasn't carrying any big equipment or dramatic props. He wasn't surrounded by a choir or dance crew. He was alone. Just one person. And in his hand, he carried the one thing nobody expected. The moment he stepped into the center of the stage, Simon looked almost confused. His expression said it all. What is this? Why is he here? And what exactly does he think he's going to do? The performer introduced himself with a smile, speaking softly but confidently. He explained his name, his age, and where he was from. The audience listened politely, but there was already a sense that nobody knew what was coming. He then revealed his instrument. And immediately, the entire tone of the room changed. Some people giggled. Others exchanged glances. Even the judges smiled in that way judges do when they're trying to be polite but clearly don't think they're about to see anything impressive. Simon leaned back, arms crossed, and said something under his breath that made the audience laugh. It wasn't rude. It was just Simon being Simon. Honest, blunt, brutally direct. And then the performer looked up, positioned his fingers, took a breath, and began to play. What happened next was nothing short of magical. The sound that came from the stage didn't just surprise people. It stunned them. It filled the entire theater with a melody that was so emotional, so powerful, so unexpectedly beautiful that the giggles stopped instantly. A wave of silence moved across the audience as if every person in the room had suddenly been frozen in place. People blinked. People whispered. People leaned forward. Because this wasn't just good. This was spectacular. The melody flowed like water. Smooth. Deep. Full of feeling. Every note was crystal clear. Every rise and fall told a story. It didn't matter what instrument he was playing. It didn't matter what he looked like. It didn't matter what assumptions had been made before he started. In that moment, only the music existed. Only the sound. Only the skill. Simon's reaction changed immediately. His head lifted. His eyes sharpened. He leaned forward with his elbows on the table, listening more carefully than anyone expected him to. That was the moment everyone knew something special was happening. Amanda looked at the audience with her eyebrows raised, as if she was saying, "Are you hearing this?" Alicia covered her mouth in disbelief. Bruno, who always loves dramatic moments, was practically dancing in his seat with excitement. And the audience? They were mesmerized. The performer wasn't just playing music. He was telling a story. Every movement of his hands showed confidence, precision, and emotion. Every shift in the melody pulled the audience deeper into the performance. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't something silly. This was years of passion, practice, and dedication pouring out in real time. As the performance continued, the audience began cheering between phrases. People started clapping in rhythm. Some stood up, unable to stay seated as the music carried them. Ant and Dec, watching from backstage, exchanged looks of total shock. One of them whispered something like, "I did not expect that." And honestly, who did? The beauty of this moment wasn't just the skill of the performer. It was the transformation, the shift from doubt to amazement, the journey from judgment to admiration, the reminder that talent can come from the most unexpected places, and appearances mean nothing when passion takes over. Halfway through the performance, the melody grew louder and more intense. The performer closed his eyes as the music swelled, and the stage lights shifted into deeper colors, highlighting the emotion of the moment. The audience cheered. The judges sat stunned. And Simon, he suddenly had that small half-smile he does when he realizes someone has completely proven him wrong. As the final note rang out, the theater erupted. People jumped to their feet. The applause roared